what happens when I get too many devices on. So let me just figure this out. Hopefully all of you are having a great Friday. And I am going to do a special presentation today so that you can have an idea on what to expect from our Big Review seminar next week. Okay, so we have moved our regular programming of Forum Fridays to once a month, which is the last Friday of the month. And we've decided to keep this segment to really talk about what's going on the forums that we have on LinkedIn and Facebook. So we have moved our forums to LinkedIn and Facebook, mainly because people are there more and they interact more on those platforms. Okay, so hope to see you there. For today, I would like to share my screen on what's happening, what's going to go on next week for our Big Review seminar on clean label techniques for bread production. Okay, the seminar is going to be sponsored by Lalaman, and they are going to share their techniques on how to produce bread with clean label ingredients. You know, that is clean label for dough machining and clean label for shelf life. Okay, so the seminar, because it's sponsored, it's going to be free for you. Okay, sign up today at our Baker Academy. If you're not a member already, please do so. Sign up today. We have an awesome platform that we just launched last week. So if you haven't signed up for some time, we have to bring you through the sign up process again. All right, but it's a very nifty place. And when you finish your seminar with us next week, you are going to have a certificate of completion. So we have invested quite a lot in this platform, so hopefully it helps you. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Today's session, I'm going to talk about bread trends and what you need to do to innovate and commercialize your new bread line if you are going to put in one in the next year. Okay, this is the course to come to next week. This particular paper is available for you to download freely on our Baker Paper segment in the Academy. All right, so go there and download it before our seminar so that you can refer to it. So let's see, what are people buying? Okay, bread sales have experienced limited growth recently at 1.5%, but people are focusing on getting their demands fulfilled in the gluten-free, keto, vegan, brioche, clean label, and organic. Okay. So you ask, where is artisan bread fall into all this? Well, clean label, silly. Artisan bread is perceived as clean label. So we will go into that a little bit more in the seminar. Okay. So this paper talks a little bit more about bread trends and how bread consumption does not follow population growth. Okay, this paper summarizes that a little bit more. Okay, so the 6 categories that I want to talk about today. Number 1 is gluten-free. You cannot ignore that. It is a trend that is here to stay. So a lot of bakers who are playing in this gluten-free area is really reeling it in. Okay, I've seen so much success with bakers that are baking gluten-free. All right, mainly because there is a huge growth in this category. And this growth is going to be stable for the next couple of years. So it is a good trend to be in right now. So if you don't offer anything that's gluten-free, it is time that you look into it, because all the QSRs are going to be wanting a gluten-free option. All right, so look into that. Okay, I am on LinkedIn, so like, give me a thumbs up, give me a clap, an idea bulb on LinkedIn to let me know that you are hearing this. And I am going to answer any questions live on LinkedIn if you are there as well. Okay, let's see. Give me a second. All right. So what's next? Well, the vegan trend. Why? Well, 2 months ago, I talked about this. It's significantly changed since then. Now it's all about plant-based proteins and the technologies. So I have seen a huge jump in plant-based technologies for this particular trend. Okay, so it's still trying. The demand is still increasing. And we have about 1 in 5 millennials, and this number is higher in Gen Zs that are seeking vegan products. All right, not vegetarian, vegan. Okay, they are going away from meat. So it has been scientifically proven to be an actually healthier diet for a lot of people. Okay, no less in saturated fats, high in fiber, and high in vitamins and minerals because you're using proteins from a vast array of plant sources. Okay, so very, very interesting trend, and I think it's going to be strong, and it's going to get stronger in the next 5 to 10 years. So if you're not begging for this trend, it is a very easy switcheroo for change lines. Do look into it. Okay, next trend, you're gonna say like, well, Lynn, you're contradicting yourself, it's keto. Well, keto is not all meat. Okay, you need to understand keto is proteins, fibers, zero net carbs, zero net carbs. Okay, so the keto trend, the way I see it, is going to be strong, and it's going to be supported by probiotics and prebiotics market, mainly because it focuses a lot on fiber. Okay, we are going to actually launch a paper that's going to go in depth into keto and the keto diet here pretty soon. It's very interesting. I've seen what my writers researched, and oh my god, the information's amazing on the next keto paper that we're publishing. Okay, it is the #1 diet trend here in the US. You can't fight that. Okay, amazing CAGR, more than 3%. Okay, I think this number is going to go up close to 10% by the end of this year. The downside of this trend is we have inadequate research to support it, and there's not much information out there to really develop for it. That's why I'm pushing my team to really hurry up with the writing and see what they can find so far in the field. So the nice thing about innovators like yourself, right, when you look at trends, when you think about things that are coming down on the horizon, you're like, well, is this a fad or is it a trend? And something like keto comes up, and you look at the numbers and you're like, oh my god, these keto dieters are pretty serious. Okay, so you need to also take this trend and put it in your bag and keep it close to you for the next year, because it's gonna take off. Okay, it's gonna take off. Okay, so you are going to have some struggles with keto because there is a lot of fiber in this. So how do you deal with fiber? You might need to use more dose strengthening ingredients, and you need to make sure that your fibers is hydrated. Okay, or wait for the keto paper to come out and we'll talk more about it. Okay, special ingredients in there for you. All right, so brioche, egg, sugar, butter. It can't taste better for brioche, okay? The reason why this is such a strong trend is because people just love brioche hamburger buns, brioche dinner rolls, right? Who dominates in this? The fluffy, sweet King Hawaiians dinner rolls, right? You can't get past that. Okay, that tastes like brioche to a lot of people, but King's Hawaiian is not brioche. It's just sweet buns, sweet mud buns. Okay, but people just love the taste of fluffy, sweet, yellowish buns. All right, and that's what brioche stands out to them. Okay, so brioche products is still going to be around, and it contradicts the vegan and the keto trend, but it's still going to be strong. Brioche also has an emotional pull to its image. Okay, when you bite into a brioche loaf or a brioche hamburger bun or a brioche dinner roll, you're gonna think about Paris. You're gonna think about France. You're gonna think about Europe. Your time there. Okay, so it's a very, very emotional product, and that's why people love it, even though it's totally unhealthy. Okay, so anyway, oops, here you can see my dashboard. Sorry about that. Lastly, I would like to say that organic bread is still strong. It's not as strong as keto or vegan in terms of growth, but it's gonna be there. So it's a safe bet for you. Okay. It is going to reach over 2.5 CAGR this year, and it's also a really crowded area to play in, just to let you know that. But if you are intended as a non-food service CPG brand, this is a good place to play in. So I'm still pushing this for bakers out there who are focusing on their own brand and launching their own brand products. Okay. All right. Lastly, clean label. Clean label has no artificial preservatives and no additives or so, and it's valued at about $38.4 billion. Okay, that was last studied in 2019 before the pandemic. And it's a huge trend with the millennials. 93% of US households have already used this product and are consistently using this product. Okay. Lalaman has a specialty bread ingredient line that focuses on clean labels. So let's learn more about it. Sign up today at our academy so that you can attend the Baker View seminar on clean label baking for this trend, especially this trend. Okay, we will also share information on Lalaman Baking Fermate, GSH, and essential clean label enzyme systems during this seminar. Okie dokie. So what I would like you to know is that clean label and clean label trend is not just ingredients. Okay, it has a lot to do with your dough process as well. And because you are no longer determined on baking with bromates, datum, and SSL, whatever's on the left-hand side of the screen, you no longer give your dough a safety net. Okay, so you can not fail. You have to be more precise in your dough temperature, your water temperature, your fermentation time, your pressures at the dough divider. Those have to be more precisely set. Okay, because you no longer have a dough that you can really stress it out and assume it is going to run perfectly fine. With cleaner label ingredients, you need to be more cautious with dough temps, and you gotta be more cautious at the pressures that you put these clean label doughs through. And also, I hate to tell you that, but you might need to reduce that dough proofer temperature, increase your dough proofing times a little bit more, because all you need is moving at the rate that you used to move and then seeing flat buns that have no volume. That can happen, especially with clean label systems and high proofing temperatures at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, bakers, stop doing that. Stop the 110 degrees Fahrenheit proofing temperatures. Not going to work with clean label. Okay. I would also like you to consider trying these ingredients: aged flour, ascorbic acid, enzymes that Lalaman's going to talk about, enzyme systems. Okay. Glutathione rich in activated yeast, which I believe Lalaman has to help reduce the dough mixing so that you can reduce the dough temperature. All right. Lecithin could be especially helpful in high-fat systems like brioche. Okay. So I haven't seen it done much in datum or SSL replacement just because it's not that kind of emulsifier. Okay. Cultured wheat and fumaric acid and sorbic acid. So if cultured wheat doesn't work fine for you, put in more organic acids to bring down the pH. Okay, that's going to give you a longer shelf life. Nothing can beat Calpro. Guys, seriously, Calpro is like miraculous in preventing mold. Okay, yes, cultured wheat, it's a good substitute, but it's a different arsenal altogether. You have to add acids to help you with cultured wheat. Okay, and yes, you heard it from me. Okay, so this paper talk about what's going on in the mixer. I covered it in a few seconds previously. And in the oven, okay, you need to do your thermal profiling so that you don't bake up too much moisture. Okay, I talked about that in the paper, and I've talked about it in many YouTube videos as well. So go search it up. Cooling tower. Now, nobody really thinks of this, but maybe you can. All right. The reason why I point out cooling tower or how to cool your bread is because if you don't keep an eye on the internal temperatures and you cool longer, you're going to have excessive loss of moisture, and your enzyme systems lack of emulsifiers may not work for you over your shelf life. Okay, so it's better for you to understand how to cool your bread and how to keep it mold free in this particular critical control point. Okay, all right. Lastly, let's talk about food safety. What does that mean? Like I said again, moving away from Calpro is like taking away one crutch, right? So like you're injured on your right leg and you're using two crutches. It's like taking away your right crutch, right? So you got your left crutch. Yes, you can do without Calpro. Okay, you can just use it with cultured wheat. But you have to supplement it with better sanitation methods and acids. Okay, that's your crutch that you have back. Is combine both of sanitation and acids. So sanitation means that your air in the bakery needs to be filtered or If there's excess flour in the air, you need to put in a flour reclaim system at your dough dividing, at your mixer, okay? And that really drastically reduces the amount of flour particles in the air. You also need to at least change your air filters out 2 times a week. Really depends on the volume, all right, of your bakery. If you recently increased your bakery business by 25%, yeah, definitely go to 2 times a week, because there's more flour in the air. Okay, and anywhere that flour goes, mold goes. Okay, because it's mold just love flour. Okay, sanitize your surface areas really well, and make sure that everybody wears a glove, and make sure that your cooling racks and your cooling towers get sanitized once a day. You're like, what? Once a day? I'm like, yeah. Unless you want to put back Kelpro into your baking system or your bread formula, sanitize your shelves and your cooling conveyor belts once a day. If you can't do that, then you're not ready, folks, to go clean label. Okay? And if you're like questioning me on your sanitation protocols, and you're having these unique situations that what I'm talking about right now doesn't apply to what you're doing, and you have more questions, please come to me next week during the seminar, and I will answer your questions. Okay? But again, I'm a huge advocate for sanitation in terms of improving mold-free conditions for your clean label bread. Okay? And it's so important, especially in organic bakeries. All right? So that's all for today. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you again next week. Stay safe, bakers. We're almost towards the end of the pandemic. All right, everyone. Bye.